Hey everybody, Benjamin Holmgren here, back again for another episode of Spitball of the Day. It's a Monday, got a little bit of sun peeking out, I'm excited about that. Going to talk about scheduling today and scheduling projects in specific. A lot of you guys that are watching this are working in construction, a lot of you are service-based businesses and working on projects, and there's a lot of scheduling that goes into working on a project. So, there's two types of scheduling that I've seen, and I have my opinions about both, and I'm going to share those with you. First one is you can be on one side of the coin or the other. You can be a proactive scheduler or you can be a reactive scheduler. And I think a lot of us get caught in between, and we can sometimes get shut down if we're trying to be the proactive one, and then also we really a lot of our life is spent being the reactive scheduler, just for how the industry is. The key word, though, is to be the proactive scheduler. That becomes the goal for us. If this is what we decide we're going to do, being the proactive scheduler is what we want to become. So then the challenge becomes, how do we do that? Like, what's the actual steps that we have to take to be the proactive scheduler? I think it comes down to systems, having a system in place, having a process for how we schedule, and then following that process relentlessly. We do not have, just like everything else in our life, we don't have the control of what the other person's going to do. We don't know what the other sub is going to do. We don't know what our customer or builder or whatever is going to be doing. But that can become our job to better understand that, and then watch for commonalities and find the fine line, find the balance of actually getting the job done, doing what it takes. So as far as this putting a system in place around scheduling, one of the things I can suggest would be a simple calendar. Using technology to your advantage and pulling up google.calendar or calendar.google.com and creating one in 13 seconds and sharing it with your team in another 8 seconds, and then sticking with that and using that, and every task or every day, scheduling those things out, being intentional about what you're going to be doing all day as a team, as you and your employees. Google Calendar has been just awesome for me. If you use Outlook or whatever you use, that's great. But having a system in place to host that host the scheduling that you have to do in your business all day, every day. Without it, it's a series of text messages, phone calls, you're writing stuff on a piece of paper, and if that system works, that's great. But what it comes down to is then it's relying on what's going on inside of your head, rather than having a central place for that information to hang out. So another thing I could suggest would be, as far as getting info from your customers on the status of projects and that kind of stuff, would be having an auto email. So an email, setting up an email that every day or once a week, it sends out an email saying, hey, what about what projects, what's the status of these upcoming projects, or these upcoming things that I need to know, anything that's pertinent to you and your business, and having that sent out to your customer so that you know every Friday morning or every Wednesday morning, an email is going to be sent out, and they are obligated to reply. And having you, the customer, understand the importance of replying, so that it doesn't become just a nuance for them, or you don't want it to be an issue for the customer, but it's for both yours and their benefit, so their project is done quicker, on time, on budget, that kind of stuff. So a calendar, auto email is another good one. Ultimately, I think it comes down to one thing, and that is being intentional about who's doing the scheduling, who is responsible, making one person responsible for the task of being the scheduler, rather than several people, rather than trying to have communication there to make it work. Having one person be the go-to person when it comes to the scheduling, and then backing out of that, and if building the system around that person and what works. So in order for that person to be able to take a vacation, you're going to have the system in place so that someone else can fill their shoes while they're gone. That's kind of my what I'm getting at here. But rather than having these different points of communication from your customers, from your employees, your vendors, having one person that's responsible or one group of people that are responsible in a day-to-day, and then having a backup plan to plug into that if these people are gone. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes back to what I said at the beginning: being proactive versus being reactive, and really taking the in charge approach about our scheduling. I understand that the world is just crazy. I understand things go wrong on the job every single day, and stuff unexpected on things that just you weren't planning on. It happens every single day. And so my policy has what I've tried to implement for myself is it does happen, and this is our life. And so we can either bellyache about it, or we can put a system, we can put a person, we can take the responsibility onto our shoulders to make our life better. So just a little spitball of the day, and I'll leave you with that. Let me know in the comments what system you have in place now, or if you have these frustrations and stuff that I talked about. Let me know. I want to have a discussion about this stuff to better understand where you guys are at and what things you need as businesses, what things are frustrating to you from either your customers, your employees, that communication, the scheduling breakdown. So let me know in the comments. Have a good day.